Alright, this is a Frigidaire top mount refrigerator. Issue that we're having is it's freezing, but the refrigerator itself is warm. Usually that's because the air isn't circulating from the freezer down into the refrigerator cabinet, and it's possibly because the damper hole at the top from that back wall shroud at the top of the freezer is probably frozen over with ice and air isn't coming down. Or it could be the evaporator fan isn't flowing. Several different things can cause that issue. On this particular issue, the problem was the heater. And so usually when you have this type of problem, it could be several different things. On this particular newer model of the Frigidaire, the defrost thermistor and the heater are all one. So we have to take off this back shroud here. You have 2 1/4-inch screws. If you don't have an ice maker, you have to take off the panel there to expose that that other 1/4-inch bolt there. And so once you do that, you can get those 1/4-inch bolts out of there. And then you also have 4 tabs on each side that have to be pressed in to get the back off. And also be careful while you're doing that as well. It could be frozen over, but the evaporator fan is also hooked up to the shroud. So as it comes loose, be careful that you just don't let it drop, because the evaporator fan is hooked up with it. So again, with this particular issue, it could be the evaporator fan has stopped, but on this particular refrigerator, the fan was actually flowing. It also could be the thermostat. The thermostat is responsible for sending the machine, or rather keeping temperature, making sure the machine goes into defrost if it doesn't have a timer. Speaking of the timer, it could also be that. But I already turned the timer. It clicked, and the heater did not come on. It's actually still pretty cold. So 120 volts should be going to that plug that it's the Molex plug up there. So I also took a multimeter and checked out the voltage, and it did have 120 volts going to it, but it was not turning on. Another way you can test it is you can disconnect the connector, and you can test out the heater. If you test the yellow and the black terminals and test for ohms of resistance, and you should get something. If you don't, then you know that the heater is bad. On older models, the thermostat was separate from the heater, but on this particular one, the thermistor and the heater are one complete unit. So it wound up testing bad once it went into defrost. The heating did not turn on. So if the heat doesn't turn on, you're going to get ice buildup, and as the ice builds up, it's going to cover the damper hole, so air won't be able to pass through. So that ice has to be melted for air to come through in the future, and we're gonna have to manually defrost the evaporator here to clear up all that ice, and we're gonna replace the heater. Now if you don't have the part, what you can do until you get the part is take an air dryer and melt all the ice, and melt that hole there where the shroud goes in, where the air goes down into your refrigerator cabinet, and the air will flow, and temporarily your refrigerator will be back to normal, at least until you can get the part. And also be careful while using a hair dryer, because it's very hot and it will melt the plastic. So don't leave the heat on it all at one time for a long period of time. So get rid of all of the ice that's there holding the heater there in place, because we're going to have to remove it. And then once you've removed all of the ice, then we can start detaching the latches there that are holding that heater in place, and then we can remove that heater and also the thermostat. Okay, and also that little pin there that's on the old heating element, they didn't. At least the one that I had didn't come with the new one. You're gonna have to take that off of the old one and put it on the new one. That's responsible for heating up and making sure that the drain plug that the water cascades into does not freeze over. When attaching the thermostat and the wires, make sure that the wires are seated properly. They're on the left side, because if it's not seated properly, then the cover shroud will not, it won't close properly, won't close good. It'll be bulging. So make sure it's secure on the sides and that it's sitting well. And it's also going to need that in case an ice maker is ever there as well. Make sure the thermostat goes in the back exactly how you got it off. Pretty much in the the secondary coil right in the very back. Just monitor that, because it's responsible for a lot, letting pretty much letting the fridge know the temperature of the freezer. So if that's not there, then it's going to be reading the temperatures wrong, and it won't freeze properly. And also, although I didn't mention this earlier, it's good to wear gloves. I'm kind of being dumb and not wearing them, but all of those fins down there are actually pretty sharp. Just that for this particular job, I just found the gloves pretty, pretty cumbersome. But those fins are sharp, so be careful while you're doing this. Wear gloves if you're comfortable with them. If not, that's your fingers. But it is a suggestion, and it can be kind of tedious getting everything back on there. But just be careful with it, and you'll be fine. Make sure everything in there is secure. You don't want the heater dropping down or anything like that. You can see that divot that was replaced. It's also in the drain hole. Make sure that's secured also as well, and make sure your drain is all cleared. And then turn your timer back on so it turns on the system, and you're good to go. And that's it. You put the shroud back on, connect the fan, and your repair is done. Again, thanks for watching. If this helped you out, leave a like. Thanks.